Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, let us try to find uh, uh, the values of vector products. And then in this example, if we have vectors given to us as follows: vector v is equal to negative square root of 3i plus square root of 2j, and if vector w has components 3 square root of 3 I plus 5 square root of 2j, we want to find vector v dot vector w, the dot product of these two vectors. And the way to do that is as follows. Step number 1, vector v dot vector w, we can write this as negative square root of 3i plus square root of 2j dot 3 square root of 3i plus 5 square root of 2j. So here again, as step number 2, we want to recognize that I dot I is equal to 1 is equal to j dot j. J dot j is equal to 1, I dot I is equal to 1. Also, I dot j is equal to 0 and j dot I is also equal to 0. So keeping that in mind, we will write the third step, and we will now do the product of these two vector components. So when we do the expansion of these vector components, this is how it's going to look like. Negative 3, negative square root of 3 times 3 square root of 3, I dot I is 1, so I'm not going to write that. Negative square root of 3 times 5 square root of 2j, that is going to go to 0, so therefore plus 0. Then square root of 2j times 3 square root of 3i, j dot I is going to go to 0, therefore I'm not going to write that. Then plus square root of 2 times 5 square root of 2, j dot j is equal to 1. So therefore all we need to do now is just simplify these numbers. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9 with a negative sign. And then square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, 5 times 2 is 10. So therefore this value comes down to 1. Negative 9 plus 1 is positive 1. So this is the value. So when we had two vectors, and when we took the dot product of those vectors, and if the vectors happen to be radical terms, we were able to use the properties of vectors and simplify them. In my next presentation, we shall look at some more examples related to vector operations in 2 dimensions using the properties of vectors.